We recently learned that 1,000 businesses are boycotting Facebook, including Coke, Smuckers, and Disney. However, so far analysts say it's having little effect on Facebook's revenue. That's not stopping many Americans from taking stands against companies that no longer support what they do. Matt Schulz, the chief credit analyst at LendingTree, joins us now. Hello, Matt.
Hi, Angie. Thanks for having me.
You took a boycott survey, and what did you find?
Our survey showed that nearly 40% of respondents say that they are boycotting a company right now. That's a really big number, and it's a big jump from just last year when our 2019 survey showed that about 1 in 4 people were boycotting a company. So that's a really big deal, and perhaps not surprisingly, the number one reason for doing a boycott was disagreement over politics.
What about by generation? If you take a look at millennials or Gen X or baby boomers, what are you finding?
The younger you are, the more likely you are to boycott. About half of Gen Z and millennials said that they were boycotting, and you compare that to about a third of Gen X, and then the number drops to only about 22% of baby boomers. So it's a really big difference based on age, but also that has a lot of implications as well, because generally the older you are, the more income you might have, and perhaps the more impact you might have by doing a boycott.
What are some of the reasons for boycotting?
About 1 in 3 folks who are boycotting said that they were boycotting because of a company's political stance. And again, we're so polarized in this country. Everything is so politicized that that's potentially not all that surprising, but it's certainly the case. Other potential reasons for boycotts include being upset about mistreatment of employees, accusations of racism, disagreement over social stances, things like that. There are as many reasons for potential boycotts as there are people.
Are consumers starting to understand that their money matters?
About half of Americans say that they are more likely to support a retailer or a business who gives to charities or publicly supports causes or things that they believe in strongly. But there's a flip side to it too, where about 40% of people said that if a company publicly supports someone or something with which they strongly disagree, they would consider boycotting that company. So it makes for a really interesting calculation that companies have to do.
What about at the corporate level? What are companies doing?
These aren't easy decisions for companies to make. There are costs, financial costs, in taking these stances. And the truth is that oftentimes you may gain a bunch of customers by taking a stance, but you may also lose as many, if not more, by taking that stance too. So it's a weird calculation that businesses have to make before they make a bold proclamation or take some sort of social stand, but it's a really important thing to do. And the truth is that oftentimes the importance of the stance will outweigh whatever the financial cost might be. Now, that's not always going to be the case because the bottom line always matters, but the truth is that some stands are too important not to take.
Thank you so much, Matt, for coming on our show.
Thank you, Angie. Always good to talk to you.
For more Business First AM, check us out on social media. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And go to businessfirstam.com for where to see our show on TV.